5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You blitz all night. And if they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm going to take every last one of you out.
Hey, the blitz is coming, boys.
What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of The Blitz, where we give you the latest in football and fantasy football news, injury reports, tips and tricks, and so much more in 5 minutes or less. We got a bunch of news to get through with some injury updates to players heading into week 4, so you need to know about these guys and whether or not they're going to be in your lineups. We got more injury reports coming out, so stay tuned for that. Also, I want to give you some starts for Thursday Night Football, Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants, week 4. Let's get it going, because my Cowboys, we need some help. We need to get this dub and get back on track. And the only way we can do it is to get through the Giants. So I'm going to give you some starts and let you know who you should be putting in your lineups for tonight. So make sure that you're tapped into the Fantasy's Finest podcast on our YouTube channel, because the Blitz will be separate on our channel as well. It's got a whole playlist right there for you to follow. You can also check out the Blitz on Spotify and iHeartRadio. We got some others coming. The uploads for the podcast, the Blitz, will be uploaded to other platforms soon as possible. So lock in with those, and we're going to get right into our news portion. A couple of notes from the news report heading from Thursday's practice. Several players popped up on the injury report for Thursday. They were limited in their Thursday practice. Nico Collins, Houston Texans wide receiver, he is dealing with a hamstring injury. Gabriel Davis, Jacksonville Jaguars wide receiver, he's dealing with a shoulder. Bijan Robinson, Atlanta's running back, another shoulder injury. And we have the injury twins, Rome Odunze and Keenan Allen. Rome Odunze is dealing with a hip now. He was limited in practice, and Keenan Allen is still limited in practice with a heel injury. Friday's injury report will be the tell-all for the weekend heading into week 4. You know we're going to get you with that as well. Also, David Njoku returned to practice. He was dealing with an ankle injury that kept him out of the last couple of games, but he has returned. So if he's on waivers, and he's on the waiver wire, and you need a tight end, because the tight end position has largely been funky right now, definitely pick up David Njoku. Now let's get into a couple of starts that I have for week 4, kicking off week 4, Dallas Cowboys versus the New York Giants. The New York Giants. First up, Malik Neighbors. This should go without saying. He should be locked in your lineups, and you should not remove him until further notice. Malik Neighbors is averaging 22.8 fantasy points per game over the last 3 weeks. He's averaging 12.3 targets per game. Basically, Daniel Jones is throwing the ball to him as much as possible. Hopefully, the Cowboys get smart and they try and take him away. Don't try and line him up one-on-one with just Trayvon Diggs. Take him out of the mix. But that's football talk. For fantasy, the Cowboys are allowing 21.4 fantasy points per game to the wide receiver position. That's 4th most among NFL defenses. So you got to plug in Malik Neighbors. And he's cooking me on my take, because I definitely said that I didn't trust Malik Neighbors with Daniel Jones, and he's proven me wrong every week. Oh, my goodness. Another player you should probably have in your lineups is Devin Singletary. Yes, it is a lot of Giants on this episode. For starters, the Cowboys are allowing 4.7 yards per attempt to opposing running backs, and Singletary is averaging 14.2 fantasy points per game. He's currently sitting at the RB20 heading into week 4. So he's in a great spot where he's getting a lot of work. He's the main guy for the Giants and their run game. So why not take a chance if you don't have any better options to plug in Devin Singletary and get him going? The Cowboys are also allowing the 4th most rushing yards to opposing running backs at 130 yards per game, according to Pro Football Reference. And the Cowboys are also allowing 5.4 yards per attempt to opposing running backs. So they're giving it up. And I was going to say something else, but I can't. I don't want to get any kind of violations for wherever this video pops up at. Now, my last pick, this is a little bit of a dart throw, but it's worth garnering or worth mentioning because it's Jalen Tolbert from the Dallas Cowboys. Tolbert has outperformed Brandon Cooks, who's supposed to be the wide receiver 2. He's outperformed him in back-to-back weeks. And over the last 2 games, Tolbert has compiled 136 yards and a touchdown. to Brandon Cooks 75 yards and a touchdown. He's averaging 14 fantasy points per game over the last 2 games, and he's out there on fantasy waiver wires. He's currently just rostered in nearly 7% of ESPN leagues, so he may be worth a dart throw. I would probably play it a little bit on the safer side and grab him to stash and see how he plays against the Giants. And if he continues to trend in that direction, and it looks like the Cowboys are trying to turn Jalen Tolbert into that wide receiver too, because like we mentioned, he is outperforming Brandon Cooks, who's supposed to be the wide receiver too, but he's not handling his responsibility. So if that's the case and Tolbert is moving in, you might want to get ahead of the curve and grab him before Week 5 waivers, because if he has a good game against the Giants, we definitely could be talking about him being a waiver wire candidate for Week 5. But that is the show, guys. 5 minutes or less, we got it done. So make sure that you're checking us out across all your social media platforms at Fantasy's Finest. The Blitz, like I said, will be on our YouTube channel under its own playlist, so you can check us out there as well. Until next time, take it easy.
Yo, come back now, yeah!